Welcome students. In this part, we will be covering the third capsule of the topic strength of materials, that is columns and struts. So again, let us start with basics, which I call it as last minute revision for this particular topic. And for that we have first, what is a column? So you all know that a vertical member which is designed to carry axial compressive load is known as the column. So two things are required. It should be a vertical member and it should be carrying axial compressive loads. Then the next term which I want to show you is the strut. So what is the difference between column and a strut? So column, as you can see, it is a vertical member. Strut will be an inclined member. So you can say a member designed to carry an axial compressive load is known as the strut. So a strut which is at any angle apart from vertical is known as the strut, which is designed to carry a axial compressive load. And when it is vertical, it will be termed as a column. Next is, what do you mean by slenderness ratio? That is lambda. So slenderness ratio is defined as the ratio of effective length of the column to the least radius of gyration. So if I write in the mathematical form, I can write lambda is equal to effective length, that is LE, divided by least gyration. So I can write KL, that is least radius of gyration. And radius of gyration, we have just seen, it is given by root of I by A. Now in this particular term, we have encountered one more term, that is LE, which is effective length of the column. Now let us see what do you mean by effective length. So effective length of the column, denoted by LE, is defined as the length of an equivalent pin-ended column having the same load carrying capacity as the member under consideration. Or in simple terms, it can be defined as the distance between points of zero moments. So on the column, if we take points, if we take moments, so the points which gives us that this zero moment, the distance between that two will be known as the effective length of the column. Now let us go to the various cases, or we can say the end conditions of the various columns and their effective lengths. So we have first, if you can see in the figure, this end, this end of the column is fixed and this is free. So one fixed, I can write here, yeah, one end fixed and one free. This is the case. In this case, LE, that is effective length, will be is equal to twice L. And what we have seen as effective length, it is a point at which the movement or the distance between the points at which movement becomes zero. Now similarly, if you see this one, if you observe closely, this is a pinned joint or it is a hinge joint, and also here it is hinged. So if I write here, it is both ends hinged, or I can also type this as both ends pinned. So it will be LE is equal to L. Effective column length will be equal to the same as that as the length of the column. Now if you observe, this end is free, this end is fixed, and this end is a pin joint. If you observe here, it is a pin joint. Your pin is there. So I can write one fixed and one hinge. So in this case, LE will be equal to 0.7 L, or you can also tell is L by root 2. And in this case, wherein here you can see it is fixed end, here also there is no hinge shown. That means it is also an fixed end. So I can write here it is both fixed. So a column in which both end are fixed, LE will be equal to 0.5, or you can say 1 by 2 L. Again, I will like to mention that is an important slide. In most of the problems, you have to encounter this and you have to take the respective LE for the calculations. Then next part is classification of columns, how columns are classified. So first is based on the length to diameter ratio. So we have, if L by D, if length to diameter ratio is less than 8, then it is termed as the short column. If it is between 8 and 30, it will be termed as the medium column. And if it is greater than 30, it will be a long column. Then another classification is how to identify whether it is a short, long, or medium column. It is based on the slenderness ratio. And slenderness ratio we have seen it is lambda. So if lambda Li by K is less than 32, it will be a short column. Based on slenderness ratio, if Li by K is less than 32, it will be a short column. If it is between 32 and 120, it will be a medium column. And if it is greater than 120, it will be a long column. Euler's formula. So we know that there are two different kind of techniques to find out the crippling load of a column. One is Euler's formula, which is given by PCR is equal to pi square EI by LE square. Again, the terms are pi square. EI will be the moment of inertia, E is the Young's modulus, and LE is the effective length based on the conditions of the column. But important point to note is this one. Euler's formula is applicable only for long columns as it does not take into account the compressive stresses. So Euler's does not take into account the compressive stresses, hence it is applicable only for long columns. So because it was a limitation, then comes the Rankine's formula. It is given by PCR is equal to sigma C. You can see here sigma C. That means it is taking into account the compressive stress. So it is sigma C into A 1 plus alpha Le by K square. This is used for short and medium column and is thus take into account the compressive stress. So Rankine's formula can be used approximately for all the three columns, but Euler's formula can be used only for long columns. Please make a note of this. So with this, let us start with this basics. Let us start with the MCQ part. So the first question is, slenderness ratio of a column is defined as the ratio of its length to. So we have just seen in the LMR, lambda is equal to Le by K least, that is least radius of gyration. So it will be ratio of length to the minimum radius of gyration. It is option number D. So I can write D as my correct answer. Next question. Dash of a column mainly depends on end conditions. Again, we have seen what does depend, what do depend on end condition? The effective length depends on the end condition. We have seen the four different cases for effective length. That is, if the end condition, both the ends are pinned, it will be Le is equal to L. Both end fixed, Le will be equal to L by 2. Then it is, we have seen that if it is one fixed and one pinned, it will be 0.7 L. And lastly, we have seen if one is free and one is fixed, it will be 2L. So what is this dependent on end condition? This is nothing but effective length. So answer will be effective length. Third question. Factor of safety is the ratio of crippling load to. This we have also seen in the first module that FOS is defined as the maximum load, or here it will be crippling load, divided by, it will be safe load, or it can be permissible load. So here it is safe load given. So we will mark this as the answer. That answer is the safe load. Next question. Dash formula is used for determining short as well as long columns, both. So we have seen Euler's is used only for long columns. So for short and long, the answer is Rankine's theory or Rankine's formula. So answer will be option B. Next question. The crippling load of a hollow cylindrical column, 150 mm outer diameter and 100 mm inner diameter. Length is 4000 mm long, which is fixed at both ends, having is equal to this is. So first of all, what I will do, I will write what is the data given. So data given is outer diameter is 150 mm, inner diameter DI is 100 mm. Then we are given length. So length is 4000 mm long and both end fixed. If both end are fixed, I will write Le is equal to L by 2, so which will be equal to 2000 mm. And the thing other is given is E is equal to 2 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per mm square. So now if I want to find out crippling load, I have the formula PCR is equal to pi square EI by LE square. So it will be equal to pi square into E. E value is given to us is 2 into 10 raised to 5 into I. I is not given, but we need to calculate it. So it is a hollow cylindrical column. So I can write down I is equal to pi by 64. We have seen this in the previous module. Pi by 64, 150 raised to 4 minus 100 raised to 4. So into 10 raised to 6 mm raised to 4. So this I will substitute here. So it will be 19.96 into 10 raised to 6 divided by LE square. So what is LE? LE we have just found out it is 2000. So 2000 square. So just solve this entire right hand side and I will get answer as 989840.85 kilonewton. So the answer is PCR is 89840, which is option number B. So this is the correct option. Next question. The inclined member carrying compressive load. This also we have seen in our LMR. If it is an inclined member, it is termed as a strut. So answer will be C. Next, the columns whose slenderness ratio is less than 80. So we have also seen this. If slenderness ratio is less than 80, it will be termed as a short column. So answer will be option A. A column is said to be a long column if the length of column is. So in LMR, we have studied that if L by D is less than 8, it is a short column. If L by D lies between 8 and 30, it is a medium column. And if L by D is greater than 30, it is a long column. So in the question, it is asked about long column. So it should be greater than 30. So only A1. It is more time 30 times more than the minimum lateral dimension. So lateral dimension is nothing but D. So option A is correct. Next, which of the method considers the effect of stress due to crushing load? The effect of crushing load means sigma C, stress due to crushing load. Which theory considered it? So we have the limitations of Euler's method that it does not consider the sigma C, and thereby the Rankine's method was evolved. So this is the correct answer, that Rankine's method will be used. Next, a column is said to be a short column when? It's very simple now. It will be option A, where the length is 8 times less than 8 times the lateral dimension. So in previously it was as long, this was in this it is as short. Next, a hollow cylindrical CI column of 150 mm external diameter and 20 mm thick. This is the place where students make the mistake. And 6 meter long, having hinged at both the ends, then Euler crippling load is. Okay, so let me write the question or the data given. D external, so let me write it D 150 mm. And we are given the thickness, so T is equal to 20 mm. So what students do, they write internal diameter as 150 minus 20. So this will be wrong. It is thickness. So if you see in this particular diagram, so if this is capital diameter D, internal diameter D will be, small d will be D minus 2 times thickness. So thickness is here also and thickness is here also. So it should be D minus 2 times thickness. So it will be D minus 2 into 40. So I will get Di as 110 mm. This is the place where students make the mistake. Length is 6 meter. So I will write effective length is how much? Both ends are hinged. So L equal to L. So it will be 6000 mm. Then E is given to us as 80 GPa. So it will be 80 into 10 raised to 3 Newton per mm square. Again, you can see the unit conversion. LE was given in meters. Sorry, L was given in meters. E is given is 80 GPa. So I have converted into a standard units. Now we are required to find out what is PCR due to Euler load. So PCR will be equal to pi square EI by LE square. So in this, I will require first I. So I will calculate here. I is equal to pi by 64 for a hollow column. Pi by 64 d raised to 4 minus d raised to 4. So it will be pi by 64 d, that is 150 raised to 4 minus 110 raised to 4. So on solving this, I will get answer as 17.66 into 10 raised to 6 mm raised to 4. So I will substitute here. So it will be pi square E, that is 2 into, no, sorry, it is 80 into 10 raised to 3 multiplied by I. We just now got 17.66 into 10 raised to 3 divided by LE. So it will be 6,000 square. And on solving which, I will get answer as 387.40 kilonewton, which is option number B. So this is the correct answer. Let us go to the next problem, which says using Euler's equation. Okay, again, Euler equation is used. We have to find out crippling load for a hollow cylindrical column, 100 mm outer diameter and 80 mm inner diameter. Length is 3000 mm. Both ends are hinged. So it's a very simple problem. Directly I can write PCR is equal to pi square EI by LE square. So in place of I will write pi by 64. Outer d raised to 4, that is 100 raised to 4 minus 80 raised to 4. On solving which, I will get I is equal to 2.898 into 10 raised to 6 mm raised to 4. So finally, I will get PCR is equal to pi square. E value is 2 into 10 raised to 5. I we just now found out 2.898 into 10 raised to 6 divided by effective length. As both ends are hinged, I will write LE is equal to L. So it will be 3000 square. So on solving it, I will get answer for crippling load as 635.62 kilonewton. And the option available is this one, option number D. This is the correct one. In a long column, if both the ends of the columns are fixed, then equivalent length of the column is, very basic question, it will be L by 2. So if it is both ends fixed, it will be L by 2. So with this, we have come to an end of this topic or this capsule, that is columns and struts. So you can see that if you know the basics, you can easily solve the MCQ questions. So thank you for attending this. In the next module or in the next capsule, I will be covering the topic on shear force and bending moment. So hope to see you in the next capsule, which is on shear force and bending moment. Thank you.